Here's an article in the Wall Street Journal. It talks about doctors warning accountants about how bad private equity could be if they sell their accounting firms to a private equity shop. If you look at the influence in healthcare, I think a strong argument could be made that private equity's influence and involvement in some of those systems, hospitals, clinics, etc., has been negative. But I don't think it's fair to put all of the blame on private equity. The other side of the coin is the doctors don't have to sell to private equity. I would imagine that in many of these circumstances, the doctors chose to sell to private equity because they were willing to pay a lot more than anybody else was. So whose fault is that? Is it the doctors for wanting more money, or is it for the private equity firms willing to pay too much and or degrading the care? Well, as a private equity firm founder, our goal is always to grow the company, to improve quality, to make jobs, not just jobs, but actually careers for people. Now, I know that many people that dislike private equity are going to say that all I'm saying right there is BS and they don't believe me. But there really are two different flavors of private equity, in my opinion. There are the firms that focus on financial engineering, and then there are the firms that are entrepreneurs at heart, that like growing businesses, that like working with management teams. And that's absolutely what we are at Four Pillars. As it relates to this concept or topic of private equity ruining healthcare or potentially ruining accounting firms, if these accounting firms are going to partner with the types of private equity firms that are more interested in financial engineering, over leveraging the companies to the point where they're struggling to even cash flow positively, I definitely think it's a bad thing. However, there are going to be private equity firms out there that want to take a more operational approach, that want to actually add value, not destroy value. The downside, though, is maybe an operational private equity firm would only pay 6x, where a firm that's willing to do more financial engineering and whatnot would be willing to pay 8x. In the accounting industry, are we going to see an increasing or continued influx of private equity that's willing to put 5, 6, 8 turns of leverage on an acquisition and subsequently take on clients they shouldn't? Or are you going to see accountants care about their clients, care about their staffs, and potentially take a smaller payday so that their firm is on a stronger footing going forward? I think a lot of folks are going to go with whatever number is highest, but that's not the approach that I want to take for our businesses. Whenever we sell our business, sure, it's going to be tempting to take the highest offer, but at the end of the day, we care about the legacy of the company. We care about the employees. And chasing the highest number is just not something that is going to be the most important for us.